All right, here we go. Time for big game breakdown. Thanks to Intertop Sportsbook, 22 years online. Sign up, deposit, and win. Game 4 tonight. Cavs at home, 7, 205.5 the total. Boston all time when they lead a series 2-0, 37-0. So that's on the line here tonight. They were embarrassed. The thing was over in the first quarter, 116-86. As always, the supporting cast plays well at home when they struggle on the road. Corver had 14, J.R. Smith had 11, Hill had 13, Thompson had 10, 61 points in the first half. Several Celtics, including Brown, kept saying embarrassing. That's exactly what it was. And Morris even said my defense was shit on LeBron.
Yeah, Boston played a bad game. It's happened. The question is, how do they respond from that? We look at Cleveland for the season. This team's been not just bad. They've been historically bad as chalk. 22-50 laying points this year, including 2-5 as home chalk in the playoffs, laying -6 or higher, 13-28 ATS. And yeah, they're coming off a huge blowout. They're going against the Celtics team, 24-9. They were 24-8 going into the weekend when catching points. They've been consistent money winners in this role. A lot went right for Cleveland in Game 3. I think Boston has the potential to come up strong here. Look, Brad Stevens, quote, I think as coaches, you probably watch it over and over and over and over, and then you just try to trim it to what's necessary. This team is, again, prideful and competitive. They've been resilient. Nobody felt good leaving the gym last night. Nobody felt good when they woke up this morning. And so I have to think we have to look at what we can do better. There's a physical component to that. We have to be honest and watch the film, see the things we got outworked on, and see the things we can just execute better on both ends. And I'll tell you what, after that film session, you look at the quotes from Boston, one after the next, after the next, after the next, saying, wow, we stunk last game. I think we'll do better in the rematch in Game 4.
Well, come on. That was a joke. That game was over early. They were embarrassed. Al Horford was -23. He only had 7 points. So we'll see what the Celtics are made of. But you're right with this ATS. They got the money in Game 3, but then again, their season's on the line. Easily covered the first half, by the way. How great has that been for 3 years? Bet the team at home in the first half of Game 3 that's down 0-2. That was never a sweat. But I tell you, they're 9-0 straight up in ATS at home. They're 1-5 on the road now in the playoffs.
Sure, and not covering point spreads in defeat. But I got a couple more quotes. I think it's important to go. Because it really is for a man and man after man talking about how disappointed Boston was in their performance. Marcus Smart, that left a bad taste in our mouths. We want a chance to redeem ourselves. Jaylen Brown, who's been so good this postseason, and was pretty lousy in Game 3. Picked up a couple of early fouls. He was kind of timid defensively. He didn't give the offense any kind of a jolt. Quote, I use Game 3 as fuel. I thought it was embarrassing. Thought we came out, the way I played, the way I performed, how not aggressive I was in the first half. I looked at as fuel to come out in Game 4, be excited about it, and ready to play and ready to fight. Al Horford had a crappy game. Al Horford's been as consistent as anyone in the postseason. Quote, I think that we were just a little out of sync. I think in Game 4 we'll be better, making sure that we have better ball movement. I'm not worried about that. I know I'll be able to get more shots tomorrow. He didn't get a field goal attempt in the first, I think 4 shots in 30 minutes for Al Horford. It wasn't the Boston we expect in Game 3. I think we'll see a better Celtics team. I'm convinced we'll see a better Celtics team tonight. The question is whether Cleveland and the adjustments they've made are enough to turn this series and send it back to Boston 2-2 with a big momentum shift. And the Cavs, certainly, there are some legitimate positive signs for Cleveland after the debacle of the first 2 games of the series for the Cavs.
I thought going up tempo and pushing the pace was a good move. It worked out in Game 3. This will be play of the day coming up later in the show from this game.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.